Why did I announce that I was doing this series? This coffee needs more alcohol in it. I'm just contemplating my life choices right now. Why did I agree to watch this movie? What is the meaning of life anymore? Oh boy. Hey guys, what's up? This is Diego here at Cinemageddon Reviews. Wow. It's time to talk about Transformers Revenge of the Fallen, or as I like to call it, Revenge of the Butt-Fucking Dogs. Because there are butt-fucking dogs in this movie. That is right. Michael Bay's idea of humor is dogs having sex. Get ready. With that said, I am continuing my series of Transformers reviews leading up to Rise of the Beast, which comes out next year. Today we're talking about one of the worst movies to ever come out in the history of humankind. So with that said, it is only fitting that we bring back a series that I tried to keep alive but didn't have the mental stamina to do it. This is another best worst movie review. I need more coffee. Oh, let's get on with it. So does anybody remember that first teaser trailer that came out for this movie? That was probably like one of the best trailers I've ever seen. It was edited almost like a horror movie, and there was this sense of suspense leading up to the release of the film. It's like, oh, who's the Fallen, or who are the Fallen, and what are they going to do? This movie, I'll tell you, was a chapter in this franchise that made absolutely no sense, and quite frankly, should never have happened. And I'm not saying that they shouldn't have made a sequel to Transformers, because honestly, I love the first movie. What I'm talking about is in a literal sense. This should not have been the story that they told in a sequel to Transformers. It makes absolutely no sense from a chronological standpoint from one movie to the next. It makes no sense at all. And look, contractual obligations, they probably had a deal with a studio to make a certain amount of films for this franchise, and a lot of different opinions led to this movie getting made, including a really big writer's strike in early 2008, which probably cost the writers a lot of time to make this movie as good as they could. And you can see in the movie how that short amount of time affected the script. For one thing, in the first Transformers movie, it's established that before Megatron came to Earth and crashed in the Arctic Circle looking for the Allspark, that no other Transformers had ever been here before. But in this movie, it was some kind of big secret, apparently, that the Fallen was one of 7 primes to come here during the Stone Age. So did the Allspark know to come to Earth because it knew that the other primes would be here, or that thousands of years later it would be found? Did it want to be found? And if it did, why would it allow itself to be lost from Cybertron in the first place? And if Optimus Prime knew so much about the Allspark and about, the war between the primes apparently going on for thousands of years, then why didn't he know about this? I have so many freaking questions, you guys. The Fallen is supposed to be so powerful that he can only be defeated by another Prime, aka Optimus Prime. Except, earlier in the movie, Megatron kills Optimus Prime. That makes him stronger than Optimus Prime, and therefore stronger than the Fallen, too. So why doesn't he just kill the Fallen? If he's so desperate to be top dog, and he's always bickering about how shitty a leader the Fallen is, then why didn't he just kill him? Early on in the movie, Sam's brain is infected by a teeny tiny piece of the Allspark, and he starts seeing all these symbols, and these symbols eventually lead Sam and Michaela and Leo to Jetfire, who, by the way, is the only Transformer in this whole franchise with an itchy ass.
Itchy, wretched, rusty, my ass!
That whole plot device makes no sense, because for one, at the end of the first movie, Sam was running around the whole city holding the whole thing in his hands, but here he just touches a teeny tiny piece of the Allspark and it just has this effect on him.
The Sentinel Prime expedition receiving echo on a signal, you wind up with...
Second, and more importantly, Optimus Prime dies like an hour into the film, right? Megatron kills him. Why didn't Sam just use the piece of the Allspark to bring him back to life instead of Jetfire? But no, because of this stupid, unnecessary quest to find the Matrix of Leadership, which, by the way, is the key to a sun-exploding weapon that the Fallen almost succeeds in using, thanks a lot, Sam and his friends resurrect a Decepticon, not knowing whether or not he'd be on their side, and potentially jeopardize the entire human race when they could have just used what they already had. I don't understand. I don't understand. I need more coffee. Let's go back to how annoying a majority of the characters are in this movie. Leo, by the way, is one of the most annoying characters I've ever seen in a film.
Please, just let me, just stop screaming! Can't take that guy anymore.
Whew! Okay, oh boy. Alright, let's keep going, because I haven't even mentioned Sam's parents yet. Holy shit, this is a terrible attempt at humor if there ever was one worth mentioning in the history of cinema. Sam's mom eats an edible at college and becomes like hyper and overly energetic and fucking tackles some guy. Have you ever eaten a pop brownie? Or at least been around someone who was high off an edible? They don't turn into homicidal maniacs. Oh, I get it. They must have watched The Room and thought, oh, that's how potheads are supposed to act.
You're having an affair with Lisa, aren't you? Am I wrong?
What? What are you, nuts? Gah!
Sorry.
Guys, as bad as that is, those aren't even the worst two characters in the movie. The worst two characters in this movie are, you guessed it,
You scared? You're scared. Get your ugly face. If I'm ugly, we'll be twins, you stupid genius.
Skids and Mudflap, who, by the way, are not only incredibly annoying, but their personalities are composed entirely of racial stereotypes. I mean, do I even have to go into it? By the way, Skids is voiced by Tom Kenny. That's right, the voice of SpongeBob. But more importantly, a white guy voicing a character that speaks jive and can't read and acts like an idiot throughout the whole movie. Keep in mind, these robots were written by Roberta Orci and Alex Kurtzman, but it was Michael Bay who came up with the idea to make them parodies of African Americans. Dude, what the fuck? Like, in what universe is any of this even remotely funny? That's not even to mention the absurd amount of sexual humor in this movie, such as when Wheelie, also voiced by Tom Kenny by the way, starts humping Megan Fox's leg, or a big close-up of John Turturro's jockstrap, or even this.
I am directly below the enemy scrotum.
Look, as much as I'm ripping on this movie, there is one thing that this film improved over the first one, and that is Megan Fox. In the first movie, Megan Fox was kind of wooden and her acting wasn't as convincing as it could have been. I think she definitely improved in this movie, specifically in this one scene where there's this big close-up of her face and she's like covering her mouth and like her eyes are on the verge of tears. It was like really intense. That being said, that's obviously not enough to save this movie from being as bad as it is. So with that said, if it's any surprise at this point, my rating for Transformers Revenge of the Humping SpongeBot is 0 out of 10. Credit to Sebastian who came up with that title, not me. So that's Transformers Revenge of the Fallen. If you've seen the movie, I'm sorry? Rewatching this movie, I definitely felt like I lost some brain cells, that's for sure, because I haven't felt this dumb since I saw Florida Project in theaters. But that's a review for another time. Still, let me know what your favorite Revenge of the Blank title is for this movie. Go crazy in the comments, seriously guys. Do like something crazy like Revenge of the Baby Shoes, or Revenge of Jetfire's Itchy Ass, or Revenge of Devastator's Balls. Anyway guys, my next review in the Transformers series is going to be for Dark of the Moon. Significantly better than this movie, so stay tuned for that. As always, guys, be sure to like and subscribe, and don't forget to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, all that good stuff, and please support us on Patreon so you can get your exclusive rewards and bonus content just for you. Thank you guys so much for watching. This is Diego for Cinemageddon Reviews, and I'll see you on the Wasteland.